Ever feel like your story's leading you on a wild goose chase? And you love it, but sometimes wish you had a few tricks to keep the magic going? Stick around, fellow pantser. I am sharing the real life secrets and mindset shifts that helped me turn chaotic drafts into finished books. No outline required. Let's start with the biggest permission slip I ever gave myself, and that was to write what you see, hear, or feel, even if you have no idea how it all connects. Seriously, sometimes a scene pops into my mind out of nowhere, or a line of dialogue just appears, and instead of worrying about where it fits, I just write it down. It's like following breadcrumbs through a dark forest. You don't need to see the whole path, just the next breadcrumb. Trust that your subconscious is planting seeds that you'll harvest later. Some of my best character moments started as random images that I almost ignored. But what if you're staring at the page and nothing is coming? Well, that's where curiosity comes in. When I get stuck, I try not to panic, and instead, I start to get curious. I start interrogating my story. Why did my character do that? What's behind that locked door? What if the rules of this world suddenly changed? Questions are a pantser's best friend. They keep you moving forward even when you don't know where you're headed. Sometimes I'll literally write a question in the margin and answer it in the next paragraph. The story almost always surprises me. Now, if you want to shake things up even more, let's talk about changing your writing medium. Here's a secret weapon for when you're really stuck. Put away the keyboard and grab a pen and paper. I know it might seem old-fashioned, but writing by hand slows your thoughts down and allows space for your imagination to wander. There's something about scribbling in a notebook that really frees up your creativity in a way that a keyboard just can't. I'll brainstorm, I'll jot down snippets, sometimes I'll draw maps or scene transitions, whatever helps me see the story from a new angle. Sometimes switching to paper is all it takes to break through a block. But there's one trap that can really stall my momentum if I'm not careful, and that's rereading my work too soon. It is so tempting to go back and reread what you've written, right? Don't you think? But for pantsers, that's often a fast track to self-doubt and endless tinkering. I had to teach myself to resist, and if I'm being honest, I'm still working on it. Don't get stuck in the perfectionist trap. Instead, I make a rule, which, again, I'm still working on following, and that's no rereading until my draft is done. If I remember something I want to fix, I'll jot it down as a quick note and I'll keep going. The goal is to keep the story moving forward, not to get stuck in an endless loop of editing. And I know that this might not work for everyone because some writers need to edit as they go so that they feel confident and comfortable to move on with their story. This is totally valid, and if you know yourself and that's your process, stick with what you know. Follow your instincts. What I'm talking about is avoiding that perfectionist trap. And this brings me to the last and perhaps most important secret I have today, and that's to embrace revision. Here's the truth. The first draft is just you telling yourself the story. Pantsing isn't about getting it perfect the first time. It's about getting it down on paper so you can shape it later in revisions. When I finish a draft, I treat it like Play-Doh. I'm not afraid to cut, rearrange, or rewrite entire sections. Revision is where the magic happens, where all those disconnected pieces finally click together. So don't be afraid of the mess. Embrace it. The freedom to explore is what makes discovery writing so fun and powerful. But after watching this, if you're still worried you don't fit into the Real Writers Club, check out this video where I share how I finally stopped fighting my instincts and I actually finished writing a book. These are hard-won lessons that you don't want to miss.